are 3 things you can do to keep your Social Security number and benefits out of the hands of a fraudster. 1. Verify, verify, verify. Always verify the identity of the person asking for your information. Tell him or her that you'll call back to talk to a customer service rep. And keep in mind that government agencies will not ask for your Social Security number over the phone or via email because they already have that information. 2. Guard the final 4. Scammers can use the last 4 digits of your Social Security number to gain access to your personal information, so don't share it in emails or use it as a PIN. 3. Report suspicious activity. If you receive a call or email from someone alleging to be from the Social Security Administration, report that information to the Office of the Inspector General at 800-269-0271. For more tips, go to aarp.org/Social Security.
Hello, my name is Anna Leal, Communications Intern for AARP Illinois. AARP is a nonprofit and nonpartisan membership organization that's been working to promote the health and well-being of older Americans for more than 60 years. Today's virtual event is focused on taking a deeper dive into Social Security with a multi-generational viewpoint along with students from Illinois State University. To start us off, we are honored to have David Lanier, an AARP Illinois member and grassroots advocate in the Illinois State House, joining us today. Welcome, David.
My name is David Lanier, and today I want to welcome you to a virtual event for AARP. AARP is a nonprofit, nonpartisan organization which is comprised of members in the 50-plus range. We currently have over 1.7 million members in the state of Illinois alone.
Thank you, David. Today we'll be having a conversation with 5 college students from Illinois State University in Bloomington, Illinois. First, we have Karam joining us today. Karam, welcome, and could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, hi. My name is Karam Tazdan. I'm a junior political science and economics major here at Illinois State. And really, with the topic of Social Security, even as us as young college students, the topic here is just really something that could be applied to all of us.
Thank you, Karam. I would like to welcome Paige.
Hi, everyone. My name is Paige Hofstetter. I am a sophomore political science and sociology double major. Yeah, and same as what Karam said, I think that students and younger people really need to get engaged in the importance of Social Security, and I'm glad to be here.
Thank you, Paige. Our third student from Illinois State University is Megan. Welcome, Megan.
Hi, everybody. I am a freshman political science and political communications double major, and I think Social Security is really important, especially learning about it at a younger age and then bringing it up when you're older.
Thank you, Megan. Our final students joining us virtually are Emma and Malia. Welcome to both.
Hi, I'm Malia. I am a sophomore political science major and history minor. I am the president of the Student Legislative Action Coalition, and I care about Social Security not only because my parents have been involved in AARP for a long time, but I hope that I want to be part of the movement that helps keep Social Security in place and make sure that it provides for everyone.
Hi, I am Emma Beto. I'm a sophomore music business major, and Social Security is really important, and especially for college students to get involved at a younger age so that we're educated and we know of our options going forward.
Thank you both. I would like to welcome all of you to today's critical discussion on Social Security, and together we're going to take a deeper dive into this priority issue for AARP Illinois. We will start the conversation off with a simple question. What are your quick thoughts on Social Security?
Yeah, so I guess I could go first. Really, I think when it comes to Social Security, right, we obviously think about the system that we pay into and necessarily the benefits that are received from it, but often it can be sort of elusive, I guess, of just what those benefits, that payoff is in the long term. that I think sometimes we don't even think of right off the bat, but is definitely a big part of it.
Yeah, my first thought is just support. I mean, I feel like parts of life get difficult and everyone goes through different types of life. And I feel, going into something and educating yourself about something such as Social Security, I always just think of support and how it can support so many families and individuals.
I definitely think that Social Security is definitely sometimes one of the more underrated institutions in the U.S. I think people, especially like everyone said, like people our age, people don't really think about it until they get into their 50s or their 60s, when that sort of thing, it becomes more relevant. But it really can help anyone younger, especially. It definitely helps for us to help. Don't know what I'm trying to say, but it definitely helps that we're learning about it now.
I think something important to remember is that it's like almost investing in your future, and investing in how you will be when you're 60 years old, and that's the goal of Social Security.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, the first thing I think about as a history minor is like the history of it, and like why it's so important. So
Wonderful thoughts, and I completely understand. Now let's go to a question from an ARP Illinois member and grassroots advocate, Sandra McVoy.
Each generation faces challenges as they prepare for retirement or their futures. What challenges do you think will affect your generation?
I think that's an interesting question in the sense that the challenge that each generation faces may differ or look different, right? I think specifically for us as younger generations going into this future career work world also comes with it living expenses. It's more and more difficult these days, obviously, for us as young generation to be able to find an affordable living place, whether that's renting, property owning. And so I really think that is such a relevant piece when it comes to affordability for housing and living spaces for our generation.
I think particularly for me, the way I see it is that just making sure that Social Security lasts into the future. That especially since we're the generation that, is gonna leave the world in the next 20, 30 years, whatever. And just making sure that the Social Security stays in place so that future elders of the world can continue to live happily and healthily.
I think the biggest concern our generation could have for Social Security could be in the lasting effects of the COVID pandemic, and the financial insecurities that will come from that, and that will affect our generation going in the future. I think that's our biggest concern, probably, is the generational impact of that.
yeah, I think all of those for sure, and then like also like trying to really grasp what Social Security is and how it can actually help you, whether that be, whatever it can be. So.
Yeah, I feel a lot of our younger generation were not very informed on Social Security and the benefits of it, and I feel we're just going to wait and not become educated until we're older and until it's almost too late to care. And I really think that being informed at such a young age is so important, and that's why I'm glad that we are being educated, because we don't want to wait till it's too late.
Sandra has a follow-up question for our friends at ISU.
Social Security has played a great part in my ability to live a very secure retirement. Do you think Social Security will be available to you at your retirement age?
That is definitely something that I'm concerned about. Especially since we're at the point in our lives where, we're starting to think about our careers and just how to live as functional adults. But personally, I think I have a unique perspective just because I've seen my parents who have gone through AARP, and my dad, when he retired at 55, he was one of the last people at his company to get a pension, and he was grandfathered into that program. So, and I know that it became a trend, in the workforce that companies have stopped giving out pensions and stuff like that. So I'm definitely concerned for making sure that Social Security can and will be able to prepare for people, especially as they live longer.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like I hope that it does like ride with us as we get older. Because for me, Social Security is, paying with my college fund from my grandparents, and I hope I can do that for my grandchildren.
Yeah, really just on that note, it's the system that we pay into, right? And one would hope that just the same way that we each continue to pay into the system, that we each are beneficiaries of it as well. And that's what makes it hopefully continue to prosper, and for us to be able to see it in the future as well. That's what we're working and paying towards.
Yeah, so as a sociology major, a lot of what I've been learning about is how, our generations and the older generations have been continuing to live longer and longer, and how medicine has been improving. And I feel as we continue to live longer and, even reach our 100s as just like an average age for us, I feel it's really, really important to invest in something like this, because we're going to live, who knows how long the average lifespan is going to be now. And I feel, getting educated now and continuing to be educated and invest in something as important as this, we need to invest in this, because we don't want to be living till 200 and have no money.
Got that right.
Yeah.
I was going to say something similar as Paige. Like, we really are investing in our future, and we're relying on it in some ways. Some people are more fortunate than others to not have to rely on it, but some will have to. And that's what we're doing. Like, as we age, we're investing into our futures, investing into Social Security. So we are relying on it to be there for us when we reach our older ages.
Great comments. Our next AARP member and grassroots advocate is David Lanier, who is from Flossmoor. Let's listen to David's question.
Have you actually imagined what it would be like to not have something called Social Security around, and how would you be prepared for that?
We're starting our real lives, our functioning adult lives, and so I'm basically learning to budget for myself right now, and I can only imagine, even though right now I'm doing like basic things, in the future, if there's no Social Security, it's going to make it a lot harder to, whatever lifestyle I choose to, I'm going to have to probably sacrifice a lot more than would be possibly comfortable. So I think I'm definitely concerned for Social Security and want it to stick around.
And kind of bouncing off of that, if we didn't have Social Security for when we get older and when we want to retire, we'll have to retire a lot later than we would want to in order to prepare for that. If we see that becoming an issue in the future generations, we'll have to start planning in our 40s or 50s when it's too late, when Social Security might be gone at that point, or it could be gone when we'll actually need it, or a lot of ifs and worst case scenario ideas, right? But we don't want to be too late with that. So without imagining our futures without Social Security is it can be scary. It can be intimidating, but hopefully we don't get to that point, because it's so important.
Yeah, kind of going off of what Emma said, life happens. I don't think anyone could have guessed that COVID was going to happen, and hundreds of thousands of people and families are going to lose their jobs. And I feel having, a safeguard like Social Security will just create a form of safety for families and individuals to feel more secure in their jobs and their livelihoods, so that they don't have to, work into their 70s or 80s, or they can just feel that they can put food on their table.
Yeah, to go off of that, I feel like my grandparents are telling me, start investing into your retirement and stuff like that. I'm like, I just became an adult. Like, give me a second to breathe. And then thinking about it, it's it is kind of scary. I don't know when my parents are going to retire, and that's an actual fear, is that they might not be able to. So
my parents said the same thing.
Yeah, and just especially thinking about the fact that part of this is all that what we work towards, like what was mentioned in our future career goals and aspirations in the work world that everybody tells us about as we leave college and we enter that different realm of life, that we're working all towards that. And if that system wasn't there, then to me that's part of I guess what you could call that part of that American dream that is sort of broken if that system isn't there for everybody.
Thank you guys. You all say really great comments. And our Chicago ARP Illinois member, Hyola Austin, joins us for today's final discussion question. Welcome, Hyola.
As generations age, we know that more attention for them would be brought to Social Security and its importance. The question is, what would it take that might make the generations more aware and acceptable to the Social Security?
I think this might go with like kind of how people pay like taxes. Is that for a lot of kids, especially like me and like my brother, we were both terrified to pay taxes. We were like, oh my gosh, the IRS is gonna come get us. I feel like if there was a way for schools to teach about, Social Security, retirement, taxes, all of the above, then they would become more aware and maybe start at a younger age to either research or start investing and everything like that.
Yeah, I mean, just to think of like real life examples, I think if we start to show that, as you get older, you need these benefits and you need these programs, I think just to show younger generations and younger people, examples, real life examples, and I think that would help them care a little bit more, because I think right now it's not that we don't care, it's that we don't know. And I feel if people show them and show us examples and actual real life experiences of why we should care, I feel it would help educate us into why we should be, looking into this program and caring so much.
Yeah, I definitely agree with both Paige and Megan's points. Just awareness is just a huge step in the right direction. And MJ had a wonderful point about, education. I mean, schools don't teach about taxes and budgeting. Like a lot of these things are left for our parents to teach us. And even a lot of our parents are still in their 30s or 40s, so they themselves are not thinking too much about Social Security. So I definitely think that an awareness program could people care about things that apply to them. So maybe find ways to help young people see that Social Security can be beneficial to them. If they get injured, if something happens, Social Security could be there for them. And so I think that'd be a great place to start.
I really love what Paige said and what Malia said too, but about not that we don't care, it's that we don't know. And I think kind of the idea of an awareness program that would be catered towards younger generations so that they are informed and aware of the benefits of Social Security over our lifetimes. Like if we get educated on it now, we're going to be paying into that as we age, and then we'll care about it more and then be more aware and then be more aware of the benefits of it once we finally get to use our Social Security when we get older.
Yeah, and just really the sheer impact that we see. I mean, even in Illinois, with so much of our population, even in our state, being recipients of Social Security, those are our neighbors, our family members, our friends, as everybody's talked about. There's no denying the wide-ranging impact that the system and Social Security has as a whole. So with the impact that we could have with increased awareness for younger generations, I think it really all just comes from getting to know more of how, your aunts, uncles, family members, neighbors, friends, how they're all beneficiaries that you might happen to know in your own life. And that's something that you're owed as well.
This has been such an informative discussion, and I'm sorry to say that we're near the end of our time for this conversation. So let's just do a last round of your thoughts on the future of Social Security. Megan, let's start with you.
All right. Well, I just think it is really important for students, not even just college students, but, maybe high school, like younger high school students and things like that, to learn about Social Security before it's too late and to really start understanding what it is.
Social Security is really important to all of us, and kind of investing in our future and protecting our future and protecting future generations, like the current generation of users of like Social Security are protected, and we need to protect ourselves for the future. And again, educating the younger generations as to why that is and how important the benefits are, so that they're aware and so we don't lose it. I think that's really important. And protecting our futures. Yeah.
And really just through it all, like what we've seen, not just in our, awarenesses as young adults, as young students, college students, we're day by day, we have to be more aware of what the rising costs of life are, even as we go into whatever future career work, and the preservation of our investment. That's what makes it through and through to be an American in the system that we pay into. Yeah, I think it's inherently tied to that, to the promise of prosperity and health and security in our future lives. And I think we can all agree that comes through with, like what everybody said, better education about it. Because at the end of the day, nobody can disagree with the fact that it is something that is there, that we all pay into and should continue to be there.
Again, thank you so much to our special guests, Megan, Emma, Paige, Karem, and Malia from Illinois State University for joining us today. And thank you, AARP members, volunteers, and listeners for joining in this discussion. Continue to join for virtual events with AARP Illinois. If you're looking for more information from AARP, please Google our website at AARP Illinois or at states.aarp.org/Illinois/. Thank you and have a wonderful day. This concludes our virtual event.
People today, they could spend half their lives over 50. That's a lot of living. So it helps to have a wise friend and fierce defender in your corner. A friend like AARP. So your health lives longer.
This is just slow-mo karate?
Just slow-mo karate.
Your money lives longer.
I just bought that.
I just sold that.
And your happiness lives longer. That's why the younger you are, the more you need AARP. Join today.